Well, welcome to Trojan Talk, and welcome to our visit with Steve Kinnett, the head softball coach for the Lady Trojans of Colby Community College. I'm Rich Epp, and with Open Spaces Sports, and another visit with one of the coaches at CCC about how things are going. It's been an unusual spring, to say the least, with the COVID-19 and the change of how we do things in terms of school, being that it was online, and we had a virtual graduation over the weekend. And for Coach Kinnett and his softball team, it ended abruptly, didn't it?
It ended unexpectedly, that's for sure, yes. By the way, congratulations on that wonderful graduation ceremony you televised. That was awesome.
Well, thank you. I would tell you, and I would ask you, how off guard were you caught when you were notified that not only was the season suspended, because it looked like it would be for a couple of weeks, and then abruptly all of a sudden it was just flat canceled? How off guard were you caught on that?
Oh, completely. You know, it's funny. We played at Garden. We got a couple wins at Garden. We had a couple kids had birthdays, so we took them out to eat and came home, and the next day they left for spring break. And little did I know that when they left for spring break, I wouldn't see them again. So that was tough, no doubt.
Yeah, I want, for those people that don't know you and don't know your background, give us a little history of you and where you got your coaching start, and how did you end up at Colby Community College?
Much time do you have?
Well, we've got more time than we have money. I'll put it that way.
Oh, there you go. Well, the shortened version, I'm a retired contractor, lived in Colorado for 25 years up in the mountains. And so one of my biggest adjustments for my wife and I was living at 9,000 feet, moving down to the flatlands of Colby, Kansas. I started coaching. I had 3 daughters. I coached them all over the nation. We were a very, very good team. We played on a national level. And so that's where I got the majority of my coaching experience, through travel ball. Sent a lot of kids to colleges to play, etc. When I retired from building, I built homes, was a remodel contractor for bathrooms, kitchens, etc. Decided I was getting older. I'm 61 now, and decided I was getting a little older, too much to do what we were doing, and an opportunity came up at Colby Community College, where I'd sent some kids. My own daughters played here, to do some coaching. Tried it out as an assistant for 1 year, and I'll be entering my 8th year next year. So Colby was supposed to be a 1 year or 2 year deal, and I got sucked in. Love it here. Love the people. Love the community, and everything else is history.
Well, yeah, you've built a winning program, to say the least, and you've brought a lot of kids in here from Utah, I believe, as much as anywhere, and Colorado, of course, as well. Talk about your philosophy in recruiting and what type of kids you want to get here and get to come and play for you.
Well, I look for 3 or 4 different things. One is family values. It's very important. They treasure family. I think that's one of the most important things you can teach young people this day and age. Number 2 is grades. If you recruit smart kids, they're going to be good players. They're going to be dedicated in what they do. I look for kids that love the game. This is such a grind that if you don't love the game, you're not going to succeed and be successful. So those are 3 of the main things. Culture and chemistry, we preach all the time. You have to be able to fit into our culture with our standards. So we recruit good people. We recruit people that are like each other. We don't recruit bullies. We get rid of them. So it's been a winning formula for us.
Yeah, your take on, I've always viewed baseball and softball quite similarly, and that is that, and I hear this from coaches most of the time that I've talked to, but I think it's no different in softball than it would be in baseball, and that is, when you look at the championship team, everybody likes offense. I mean, I think everybody likes offense, but we all know that winning comes from great pitching and great defense. Would you agree with that? And how do you formulate that into your teams?
Absolutely. I always tell the kids, if you score one run in the first inning, play great D, you're going to win 1-0. And that's always been our philosophy. It's always fun to have a great offense because that's the fun stuff to watch. Defense isn't quite as entertaining. So defense wins championships, absolutely. And we've had some good years here. An example of this year, we had a really, really rough start. I think we ended the season 9-13. We lost 2 of our starting pitchers. We only had 3 at the very beginning of the season this year. And we were 2 days into our season, and we lost those 2. And that just tells you right off the bat, if you don't have defense, you're not going to win anything. And so it was exciting. We were starting to get them back, and we were starting on our winning streak. We'd won 4 of our last, I believe, 5 or 6 games, and swept 4 conference games. We were starting to come back because we were getting our pitching back. So you're absolutely right. You need the pitching and the defense. Without it, it's going to be tough.
You had a very, I think, young ball club for the most part. You were a team with a lot of freshmen this year. And with that, you tried to go out and recruit quickness and speed. Now, with the COVID-19, it's my understanding that junior college is allowing kids to come back, and basically all your freshmen could still be playing as freshmen next season. Is that true or not?
That is correct, and the sophomores can be what we call super sophomores. So the whole team could literally come back, yes.
How many of those do you anticipate will come back, or who might not come back? That was a sophomore particularly.
Well, all the sophomores right off the bat wanted to come back, and there were 7 of them. And we had a heart-to-heart, and as the months went on, realities hit them that, we are a 2-year school, Rich, and it's hard to take classes here that will transfer to the next stop. And we're not like baseball where there's a pro level, afterwards you can go to minor league ball, etc. These girls, they go into life, they get into marriage, jobs, etc. And so we had some heart-to-hearts, and out of all of them that wanted to come back, just one is coming back now, and that's my Italian, coming in from Milan, Italy, is returning. For my freshmen that are going to be freshmen again, we haven't really had that discussion. I have with a couple of them, but I don't anticipate them really coming back. If all my super sophomores, so to speak, would have come back, we would have had a roster size of 28, 29 kids, and that's just too many people. You just can't handle that.
Sure. Mm-hmm. What's the recruiting like for you to bring in new freshmen?
Well, I recruit a year ahead, so I've had these kids sign for over a year now. So we're good for next year, which was part of the problem of the sophomores coming back. There just wasn't room for them. But we have 23 on our roster for next year, including Gloria from Italy. If they don't let her back in the country, we'll be at 22, which is a good number for me. I can manage that. Anything above that, it's real difficult to get play time and to make kids happy. So,
do you find yourself preparing because of the unknown of COVID-19? Are you preparing as if school's starting on time and we're going to go?
Absolutely. I mean, you have all kinds of scenarios you're playing in your mind, and we have them mapped out on paper. I've come up with 5 or 6 different scenarios of what could happen. And fortunately, our season is in the spring, but fall is critical to us. That's when we go get our kids recruited at the D2 schools, the D1 schools. We go play those schools in the fall. So that's very important from a recruiting standpoint. As far as chemistry, we need these kids to play together in the fall. It's kind of like going into a series without any practice. So all fall is practice for us, and it's getting to know each other. It's getting that chemistry and the culture going. So it's very important that we do have a season in the fall. We're not football. We're not going to fill the stands. I mean, you've seen our games. We might have 50 people at the field. So I'm hoping at least they will look at it as sport to sport instead of just lumping us all together. And they'll look at us as we're Northwest Kansas versus, Johnson County. I doubt if Johnson County of, 30,000 population in their school system will play, but there's no reason why we can't. So there's a lot of scenarios we're playing
out. What has the mindset been like in this last year? It seems to me like the entire school's athletic department has had maybe the most positive win mindset that I've ever seen from all sports.
Absolutely. Rusty Elmore had a great year. Carrie's always strong, had a good year. Women's basketball was good. Track's good. Wrestling, it was awesome for our athletic department. Mike's done a good job of assembling all of us and keeping us on the same page. And we're just all doing our jobs and enjoying doing it.
Do your kids become involved in the community through either a host parent situation? How do you do that, or do you do that?
We do. We had 6 host parents this year. Like you said earlier, some of my kids from Utah, long ways from home. It's always nice to go over and have a home cooked meal or do your laundry, play with the kids, etc. So that's a critical part of our culture. Absolutely.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you taking just a few minutes of your time. I'm going to stay in touch with you as we go through the summer and as we approach the new school year in August for Colby Community College. I've enjoyed having the opportunity, and of course we had Dalton covering your team as well. Your girls seem to feel like Dalton is the voice of the Lady Trojan softball team, and he might very well be. I don't know. I find myself spread pretty thin, but I can tell you I've enjoyed it and enjoyed the opportunity to be a part of your success, and good luck to you, and we'll visit with you some more throughout the summer months.
I appreciate your coverage, Rich, and you stay safe and take care.
All right. Coach Kinnett visiting with us on Trojan Talk right here on OpenSpacesSports.com. Thanks for joining.